Greetings and welcome to the Loveseat Therapist, episode number 9. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thanks so much for coming by and checking out the video, checking out the channel. I really appreciate it. If you have a moment and feel so inclined, please do hit the like and subscribe buttons if you didn't already do that. Get that out of the way. It does help the YouTube algorithm help other people find the channel and find these videos. This is not a monetized channel. I don't get any money from these or anything like that. It's purely just for you to share with you things that have benefited me in my life, and hopefully they'll have a chance to benefit you as well. This is a timeless video, so whenever you come across it, there was something that you had some kind of challenge on or something, or clarification needed, or just confirmation of what you already know. And that's truly where all of the information comes from, is we already know this. It's just affirming that knowledge, that information that we've already got. And the normal caveat, I am not a medical doctor or psychologist or anything like that. I'm just a random person on the internet that is sharing personal stories and experiences and inviting other people to share theirs as well. And we all benefit as a result. So I have had for a while now this message that has been wanting to get out to you as per usual. And life in general just keeps getting in the way, doesn't it? But we are doing it today. And I am very, very excited about getting this to you. Today's topic is going to be looking at the difference between judgment versus discernment. So let's start first with judgment. We've heard a lot recently about how judgment can harm and not necessarily provide a benefit. How when you're pointing one finger at one person, you've got four fingers pointing back at you, right? And I think this is an excellent illustration of that, where we will say, so-and-so dresses a certain way, or so-and-so has this action that we don't agree with, we don't approve of. And as soon as that happens, it's like something slams back at us. This is a very strong energy when we are judging people. Look at this word salad, all of the different things that happen with judgment. We find winners and losers. We take sides. Sometimes we collude and manipulate. It fosters an air of distrust and undermines everyone's integrity. Judgment is not ever going to be something that's going to provide good information. All right? What's our option? What's the alternative? If we're not judging, what are we doing? Well, judging, is going to be bringing up the poles. Good and bad, right and wrong, black and white, either or. And if you've spent any time with me at all, you've heard this before. I don't believe in an either or world. I understand the polarities and I acknowledge them, but I am able to take the next step and say it's not a matter of either or, but how about both and? You can have both things be true. You can be sad about something and be happy about something else. It's like two sides of one coin. You can't have a penny that's just heads. It's got to have tails on there. It's going to always have two sides. So we understand the idea of polarity, and that is a good definition of our 3D experience, where we are making those judgment calls, right or wrong, good or bad, all of that. So what is our option? Well, how about discernment? Instead of saying, what's my definition of this in terms of that pole, good, bad, either or? What about asking some different questions, like who is involved in this? Who is affected by this? What? What is going on, first of all, and what is the actual fact of the matter, or facts of the matter, and where is this coming from? Where is this going? When? Why? How? These are questions that bring discernment to us. They are not judgment questions. They are asking for an assessment of where we are, who we are, what we are, why, and how. And the when is now. I love this definition. Discernment is not a matter of telling the difference between right and wrong. Rather, it is telling the difference between right and almost right. So this really goes to sense. Instead of necessarily a brain knowing, it's more of an emotional response, a sense. Discernment is to intuition through the senses. I love this little word salad here. You wake those senses. You walk with grace. It's a spiritual energy, discernment. You're understanding and acknowledging the energy within a situation, a person, a thing, because everything has energy. Everything vibrates. Thoughts vibrate. Emotions vibrate. And what we do vibrates. So all of that can be filtered through discernment. And one of the best ways of doing this is using the chakras. And you guys are very, very familiar with these. I'm not going to be giving you any new information except the first 5 chakras from the base through to the throat are lined up with various specific avenues that we can use for discernment. So let's start out with the root chakra, our base chakra. That is the Muladhara, and it is associated with smell. And you wouldn't think about that necessarily as a smell thing. But have you ever heard the phrase, something smells fishy? It doesn't smell right. It didn't smell right. We're not talking about smell. It's not an actual fish that we're smelling, but we are trying to communicate and say something we're sensing isn't jiving with us. It's not a good fit. It's not a good fit. And that's really the best way that I can explain of what discernment is you feel the fit. It fits or it doesn't. It's either right or almost right. It's a hell yes or it's a hell no. The root chakra is where this starts, with the idea of sensing through smell. Okay? Our next chakra up, the sacral chakra, is associated with taste. And that one actually kind of surprised me. I didn't think about taste, but it makes sense. You're drawing in this information through the base chakra, through the root chakra. And so smell, obviously, is associated with taste with our physical senses. You'll know when you have a cold and you can't breathe very well. There's not a lot of stuff coming through your nose and your mouth in terms of smell. It's difficult to taste things. It's almost impossible to taste things if you don't have a sense of smell. And this is also true for discernment. You start out with that feeling of something either fits or it doesn't fit, and then you get that confirmation of feeling, the emotion. So first you get the sense, and then you get the feeling. It works right together. It's almost impossible to separate them, just as it's nearly impossible to separate the energies between the root chakra and the sacral chakra. They are very much linked in terms of the energetic fields themselves, as are all of the chakras, truthfully. But the base and the sacral chakras are almost linked by definition. And the same is true with smell and taste. And this is how we know. You get almost a visceral feeling where your perineum tightens. I've heard it said rather succinctly, if you were giving birth and a lion roared outside your cave, you would stop. Your contractions would stop and you would stop having birth. You would be looking for the nearest hole, the nearest nook that you could get into, rocks that you could pull behind you to make yourself safe. You would stop having labor because the root and the sacral chakras working together, which are the two areas that are involved in having birth, giving birth, they stop. They just freeze up when you know you're in danger. All right. So this is a very visceral feeling. You'll know. You'll know. Our next one up is the solar plexus chakra. It is most aligned with our third dimension experience, our 3D experience, and it is related to sight. Not at all, again, something you would think of normally off the top of your head in terms of chakras. Maybe think of third eye in terms of sight. That's a different kind of sight. In this example, we are looking at it in terms of drawing in and repelling, where you are identifying, actually identifying. So it is the next step up between sense and feel. Now you're almost bringing intellect into it. And it's the gut knowing. It's follow your gut. All of those little sayings that we are so familiar with. That's where that comes from. It is definitely related to sight, surprisingly. So you'll know, you get that sense, you get that emotion, and then you know in your gut, this is good, this is a fit, this I like, this feels good. This feels good. You feel that, and you'll actually kind of hold yourself in that spot and just go, I feel good. It is undeniable. We know when we sense and feel and then identify, from the base to the sacral to the solar plexus. The heart chakra is connected to the actual touch sensation of feel, touch. And this is where it becomes, as you can say, palpable, really touchable. So we get from the base, we get that sense. From the sacral, we get the feeling. We get the knowing from the solar. And then we get the actual experience from the heart. This is where manifestation comes, is from the heart chakra. So what we feel is right, we will manifest. If something feels right and it's not good for you, you're going to draw that in as well. You're going to manifest that as well. If your chakras are not aligned, they are not open and functioning properly, you're not going to get a good sense of how something smells, or how something tastes, or how something looks, or how something feels. So it's very important to make sure that you are working on keeping your chakras clear. I've done plenty of videos in the past and made references to those. You guys can find those, I'm sure. You know how to navigate YouTube, on clearing the chakras, on protecting the chakras, on keeping them in alignment. Okay? Our next one is the throat chakra, and that is sound. And that one obviously makes sense. Where we are speaking, we are making sound. We are creating vibrations in actual physical matter. That's why our words are so important. Why we call, when we are writing words, we call it spelling. We are casting spells with our words. Every time we open our mouths, we really need to be paying attention to what we're saying out loud, because that is an actual manifestation. You are calling something into physical being by creating that vibration with your mouth. So it is very, very important that we are paying attention to our words. So we sense something with our root chakra and we can feel it with our sacral. We manifest it with our solar plexus and feel whether it's right or not with our heart. And then we speak it into physical existence through sound, through our throat chakras. And those are the 5 senses and how they are connected to the chakras. We don't have physical senses that we attach to the third eye and the crown chakra. Those are purely energetic chakras. And a lot of people will put a lot more attention on those than the lower chakras, and that's not a good idea. You do want them balanced, and understand that all of the information you're getting, that you are making your decisions on, are coming from those 5 lower chakras. And you're not going to be able to have good information if they are not processing the information correctly. So that's the episode that we've got for today. The difference between judgment and discernment. Judgment coming purely from mind, not assessing senses at all, not asking for guidance and clarification to confirm with our senses. Discernment is where we want to go. We don't point fingers at anybody, even ourselves. We discern what is right for us, what is a good fit, what is going to serve our highest good and the highest and greatest good of all. So there we go. I hope that that was helpful. Please let me know in the comments if you are enjoying this particular little episode series. I love making these. These are some of my favorite things to do. I get these flashes of inspiration. You should talk about this. So there we go. We are talking about that. I love you. Have the most amazing day. And ciao for now.